Did you know the verbs you use in your writing must also reflect your level of certainty in what you're reporting? Being strategic about the verbs you use to report information can create a highly persuasive text, but a misuse can overpromise or overstate ideas. Reporting verbs show 4 different activities to readers: to argue, to show, to find, and to think. Let's examine these 4 activities in more detail. Reporting verbs are most effective in making an argument. Common argue verbs are argue, suggest, report, and propose. Use an argue verb to summarize previous research or to identify the problem or the unknown factors about your research. Check out some of these examples, including the authors argue that mood manipulation also affects other aspects of a subject's decision-making, and my goal is to explain the problems and challenges most children's non-profit organizations are facing. Because argue verbs are intense, consider your certainty about the information you're reporting. So let's go back to the example, my goal is to explain the problems and challenges most children's non-profit organizations are facing. What if you wrote instead, my goal is to argue the problems and challenges? Your certainty level would increase, wouldn't it? But what if you wrote, my goal is to note the problems and challenges? This would decrease your certainty level. Explain, argue, and note are all argue verbs, but you want to use the most intense verbs for your most important arguments and claims. As a writer, you decide what information your readers will most value. Show verbs indicate a fact or a situation. Common show verbs are show, describe, indicate, and illustrate. A show verb can help make connections for your readers, such as, these results show that some respondents indicated cross-generational work environments as a factor in choosing where to apply for a job. Or, if you visualize some of your data, you might direct readers to a figure by writing, as illustrated in Figure 1, respondents preferred working from home only if. Use find verbs to indicate you know or think something. Example of find verbs are find, observe, and discover. These examples show some of the ways you could use find verbs to report technical information. Finally, think verbs are used to express beliefs and understanding. Examples of think verbs are think, know, believe, hope, and feel. These examples show some of the ways you could use think verbs to report technical information. You may have noticed that most think verbs are placed near first-person pronouns like I and we. Depending on the technical text you're writing, these examples could show more subjectivity than objectivity. Intense think verbs can sometimes be less persuasive to readers who prefer to know what you think and know over what you feel and hope. Think verbs are best used to express an opinion after data has been presented and supported.